Okay, let's do the commentary for the nudist lesson. Kind of a funny Dear Abby letter. Okay, here we go. So, imagine this situation. You are living in your neighborhood, probably a nice little suburban neighborhood, little nice houses. And one of your neighbors is always naked. He walks to his mailbox, he's naked. He walks to his car to get something, he's naked. He opens his windows or his doors, you can see him naked inside his house. Would this bother you? Now, I did this lesson in my class here in San Francisco. Most of my students are Asian, so I think Asian society, Asian cultures in general, are more conservative, more worried about nudity or nakedness compared to, let's say, Europe might be on the other side. In my experience, European people seem more relaxed about this kind of thing. And Americans probably in the middle. Europeans think we are too worried about nudity and nakedness. And Asian people probably think we're too liberal, too open about it. So anyway, it's always interesting with Dear Abby letters in my classes because I get to see the opinions of other students from other cultures. I'd say most of my students, I have a combination. I have a lot of Japanese students, a lot of Korean students, a lot of Thai students, and a lot of Mongolian students. And I just got a German student, but not so many Europeans, a few sometimes, and then a fair number of students from South America also. Right now I have one student from Paraguay. So they always have different ideas about these Dear Abby letters based on their personal values and also sometimes based on their culture. So anyway, what do you think? I would like you go to the forums and write, what should they do about this? Should they ignore him? It's no problem, right? So what? He's in the buff. It doesn't matter. The human body is natural. Why should we worry if the man is in the buff? So maybe they should not worry about this fella, right? Not worry about this guy just because he's in the buff. So what? They feel a little unsettled. They feel a little upset, but not much. So maybe it's not a big problem. Especially in this city, it's not against the law. It's not illegal. Or maybe you have another idea. Maybe you think that, oh wow, this is terrible, right? So in my class, some people mention children. What if children in the neighborhood see this man naked? Maybe this man has some weird problem. Why does he want people to see him naked all the time? Why is he doing this? Why does he want that attention? Maybe he has some kind of strange problem. Is he wanting women to look at him, or what is it? So other people in my class, thought it was definitely a problem and that the neighbors should do something. So, I guess you might have other ideas. Maybe you think it's a problem, maybe you don't. But anyway, go to the forums and write your opinion. What do you think should be done in this situation? Now, if you want to talk about a more serious topic, this is kind of a funny article, obviously, not so serious. But there is another serious issue which is connected to this, I think. And that is the idea of consensual behavior. And sometimes we call it in English consensual crimes if something is against the law, if it is illegal. And consensual means you agree, to agree. So consensual, it's an adjective. It means something that is agreed. So let's say, let me think of an example. Okay, for example, drug use is a very good example. Drug use, using, let's say, heroin, a very strong example. Heroin or cocaine. This is a crime, right? In most countries, it's a crime. The police will grab you if you have cocaine. They will take you to jail. They will punish you. Is that right? Because using cocaine, using drugs, is a consensual crime. What does that mean? It means you're not hurting another person, right? You are only deciding for yourself, right? You agree for yourself to use cocaine. Maybe you sell it to another person. Well, if it's an adult, then you both are consenting. That's the verb. To consent means to agree. Well, you both consent to buy and sell the drug, right? Nobody's forcing you. Nobody's hurting you. You're not hurting them. They are not hurting you. Nobody's being using violence or guns or in any way. Everybody agrees. I agree I have the cocaine. I want to sell it. And you agree you want to buy it. It's a consensual crime. It's a crime. The police will arrest you. But it's a consensual crime. It's different than a violent crime, right? If you hurt another person, if you hit them and take their money, that's not a consensual crime. The person did not agree. They did not ask you to hit them. They did not ask you to take their money. That's not consensual. But selling and using drugs for adults, we're not talking about children, we're talking about adults, that is consensual. It's totally consensual. So a lot of people in America, especially in the United States, they think, well, we should not punish consensual crimes. If somebody wants to use cocaine, if somebody chooses to become a drug addict, that's their problem, right? We should not put them in jail. That's their choice. It's a stupid choice, probably, but it's still their choice. They are adults. They are consenting to do this. They are choosing to do it. They are agreeing. So we should not waste time. We should not waste money with police, paying the police to catch them and then put them in jail. In jail, we spend a lot of money. We have to pay for their food. We have to pay for the building. We have to pay for the guards, right, to watch them. It's very, very expensive. So some people in the United States say, look, forget consensual crimes. We should not worry about consensual crimes. We should focus only on violent crimes or direct crimes. So if you steal someone's money, maybe it's not violent. Maybe you don't hurt them. You secretly take their money. But still, there was no consent. It's not consensual. They did not agree. They did not ask you, okay, please take my money. So there is this division, this difference in these kinds of crimes, consensual crimes and non-consensual crimes. Do you agree with this idea? Do you think that more focus, more attention, more money, more energy should be focused on direct crimes, non-consensual crimes, and less money, less time, less energy on consensual crimes? For example, drugs, for example, sexual crimes, like prostitution, things like that. Things that both people agree to do what they're doing. Anyway, it's a very interesting idea. Different countries have different ideas about this. A few countries, especially in Europe, also have this idea. I think Amsterdam is the most famous example. I think Portugal and even England to some degree, somewhat, have this idea, especially about what they call soft drugs like marijuana, alcohol, tobacco. They don't worry about these. These are consensual crimes. They don't worry too much about them. Same with prostitution. If a woman chooses to take money for sex, they don't worry about it. Both people are agreeing. They don't care so much. They focus more on violent crimes and direct crimes. But I know that, living in a country like Thailand, I live there in Asia, it's quite different. There and in Japan and other countries, the idea is more of, everybody must follow the same rules. And society will be damaged and destroyed if we let people choose these bad things. We cannot let people make bad choices. That's another idea. I guess that's the idea of... So I guess we have two ideas. One is the government should be a parent, and the citizens are like children. So we must not let them make bad choices. And then another model, another idea, is that the government is a collection of citizens, and individual citizens are adults and can make their own decisions. Anyway, so there you go. There's a lot of topics to write about in the forums and think about. We have the basic issue of the man in the buff, the neighbor. We have the idea of consensual crimes and non-consensual crimes, right? Things that people choose freely and things that are not chosen. And then we have this idea of government as parent or government as servant, serving the people. All right, you can write about any of those. Those are some small topics and big topics. Okay, well, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.